Danny Gathon for Pro Boxing fans at the Eco Power Stadium in Doncaster. Pleasure to be joined by GBM's Adam Smith. Adam, we're here for what feels like a groundbreaking show. The GBM are announcing today at the home of Doncaster Rovers. Top of the bill, Terry Harper defending the world title. We've got a really enticing domestic fight in Maxi Hughes versus Archie Sharp. Talk to me.
Fantastic. I think it's a wonderful show. It's a brilliant statement from GBM. I'm so pleased for Mitch Costello and Izzy Asif. They've worked so hard over the last few years, and have come up. They've got this big deal with DAZN. It's wonderful to be part of DAZN, live streaming the press conference shortly, and then on Friday, May the 23rd, a phenomenal chance to really show what GBM can do. Obviously, we've got the York Hall show on April the 4th, and that's a great one. Really, really good fights there. But this, the first world title done by GBM, Terry Harper, an old friend of mine, someone that we brought through on the early days of Sky with Katie Taylor and Tasha Jonas, and Terry's a fantastic fighter, 3-weight world champion, and to have her defending her title is brilliant. As you said, Archie Sharp and Maxi Hughes, what a firecracker. Ticey Gallagher against Ebony Jones, Jimmy Joe Flint on display as well, and Reece Mould too coming back. It's a great show for Yorkshire. It's a fantastic moment for Doncaster. I think it's 12 years since Jamie McDonald won his world title here. The biggest show since. We expect thousands to come in, and on a spring night, a bit of sunshine will be lovely. Fantastic. Cannot wait for it. I think it's a huge moment for GBM, this, and I think Izzy's showing, right, we can do and put on this level of fight card, of entertainment, of solid, terrific boxing throughout the night. The undercard's going to be great as well. I know one or two things that Izzy's got up his sleeve for that. So some real prospects coming from the undercard and some big title fights. And it's a pick'em as well, really good. Sort of 50-50 matches, and a wonderful world title fight. Natalie Zimmerman, unbeaten as well, fighting Terry Harper for her world title. So yeah, it's a great show to announce. I'm just really pleased for GBM. I've just played a little part in it, but Alex Maver and the whole team, Mitch and Izzy and Em, it's fantastic. It's a great announcement, and I'm just proud to play a little part in it.
Yeah, as we say there, Maxi Hughes on the undercard taking on Archie Sharp. Now, there was reports on social media that it could be Maxi Hughes against Josh Padley, who we all saw with that incredible story out in Riyadh fighting Shakur Stevenson. Is that a fight, as far as you understand it, that is still of interest to be made perhaps later in the year? Obviously, Josh has just signed with Matchroom, but Matchroom on DAZN, got a good relationship with Eddie and Izzy, of course.
Very much so, and we thank Matchroom a great deal, Eddie and Frank, for sort of loaning us Terry Harper in a way. It's a GBM show, but Terry's a Matchroom fighter, so you can see there already the synergy between the two. Eddie was ringside in Sheffield just before Christmas, before Terry's own show the Friday, Saturday, both at the Cannon Medical Arena. So yeah, really good to work in collaboration with Matchroom. You see how Frank and Eddie are working. Izzy wants to be very much part of that. So yeah, in answer to the question, I think Josh Padley against Maxi Hughes is a big fight. But also, I think Archie Sharp is a great fight for Maxi Hughes. Archie, I saw in Bournemouth watching Ryan Garner at the weekend. Ryan, who was fantastic, but Archie's moving up in weight. I think he needed to, and I think this is a great opportunity for him. It's wonderful having Maxi Hughes back on the GBM show. Obviously, he's had a fantastic Indian summer to his career, coming off a couple of really good wins, still right in the pack, world rated. Maxi wants that chance again of a world title tilt, and he's got to get through Archie Sharp. And of course, Josh Padley, a dream story for Josh. We're with him in Riyadh, taking that fight at 4 days' notice, putting a great effort in against Shakur Stevenson, and getting a Matchroom deal at the end of it, and a ton of money from his efforts, as he should have done, going in with a pound-for-pound fighter. And look, he can put the tools down. He doesn't have to be an electrician anymore. He can be a full-time pro. He can put his life and soul into boxing, which is great. It's a wonderful advert for any young fighter to keep fit and ready for that call. He took it, and in a week and a half, his life has totally changed, Josh Padley. So Matchroom want to take him in one direction. If Maxi Hughes gets through against Archie Sharp, I'm sure Izzy will talk to Eddie, and they'll make that fight.
Adam, you mentioned there you were down in Bournemouth for Ryan Garner's very good win for the European title, but I want to get your thoughts on the very controversial, very polarising Marcus McDonald's decision to disqualify Paddy Donovan against Lewis Crocker in a fight he was coasting and on the brink of winning. Now, we talked about off camera, I know you weren't able to see all of it, but from what you did see, the right call, or is it just one of those where it's really hard to make a sort of concrete judgment?
What, controversy in boxing? Surely not. Look, Marcus McDonald's an exceptional referee, and technically, a couple of points deducted and punches after the bell, that is a disqualification. You're going by the rule book. I really felt for Paddy Donovan. It's tough, I guess. I'm not a fighter, but if you're in the heart of something, in the heat of battle, do you hear that bell? Are you going for it? It was blatantly after the bell, of course it was, but you're going for combinations. You're trying to finish your man. Very tough and very close to a knockout win. But I guess the rules are the rules, and look, the disqualification was the outcome. I wasn't there, so I didn't see it up close. I've only obviously seen clips of it, but I feel for Paddy Donovan. I feel a bit for Lewis Crocker as well. You don't want to win in that sort of circumstances as well. And I feel for Marcus McDonald because it's very tough to get those sort of calls. But it was after the bell, so therefore he made the call. He disqualified him. Lewis Crocker's the winner in unfortunate circumstances. Want a rematch, and Lewis Crocker, I'm sure, will want to win it in a better fashion than he did. So unfortunately, that's sometimes what happens. We're all talking about it. Let's see it again.
Things seem to come in twos. Now, there was very controversial refereeing on the stateside side of things. Now, I wasn't able to brave it and stay up for the full fight, but I did see the clip of Steve Willis seemingly inexplicably not awarding a knockdown to Lamont Roach Jr. when Gervonta Davis took a knee, seemingly to remove grease from his hair. Have you ever seen anything like that, where a fighter takes the knee and there's no point taken?
I've seen fighters take a knee. I'm not sure I remember one with grease in the eye. I mean, it's just this weekend has flipped us up a couple of difficult ones, hasn't it? And look, I was in Bournemouth. I didn't see live either, so it's harder when you're not. If I was 6 feet away at ringside, it's sort of easier to make a sort of call when you can feel the fight. But it was a strange one, and maybe Gervonta Davis got a little bit of lady luck that night, but he's been a brilliant pound for pound fighter over the last few years, and I think again, a bit like the Donovan Crocker fight, a rematch is the answer, and that's what we should have. But you never know in boxing, do you? But it was a strange one.
Last one before we get the presser going here, Adam. Just reflections on last week on the perspective of the Chris Eubank, Conor Benn press conference. I was there in Manchester. I know you were down in London, the thick of it there. Just a crazy week. The egg slap, the back and forth, Ben Shalom, Eddie Hearn, and it feels like this fight's just become even bigger based off the back of all that. Yeah,
Rico from No Smoke handed me a box of cream eggs on Saturday night for us at TalkSport, which was quite nice. Funny week, wasn't it? Chris Eubank, Adi Oladipo said it was sort of 10-7 on Tuesday and 10-8 on Thursday. Very much Chris controlled the press conferences, premeditated. He got the viral hit. The fight just got that much bigger. A fantastic setup, really. Now, I mean, it's just got everybody talking. Whether you like the fight before, a controversial matchup, of course, as it was a couple of years ago. Some people might hate on this fight. I love it. I love stories. I love the circus of it. I love the sons of the legends. It's a fight no one can predict. It's a fight that's going to be more and more interesting as we get closer and closer. And it will stop traffic on April the 26th because the casuals will lap this up. So look, it's not Bivol and Beterbiev and that sort of elite boxing which we were treated to in Riyadh. It's not the European super featherweight title that, with all the atmosphere with Ryan Garner that I had in Bournemouth. It's just another sort of boxing. It's entertainment. But these two are really good fighters. They may not be at the level of their dads, but they're really good fighters, and they should be highly respected. Chris Eubank's got the size. He's also got the experience, but he is older. And I wonder if the weight may benefit Conor, actually, because it'll be more natural. So it's a very interesting fight. Conor's got to watch his emotions. The fight week's going to be insane. And the fight night, again, at Tottenham, wonderful stadium for boxing is going to be tip top. We've got a phenomenal spring coming with this show at the back end of May, many others announced for April, huge sort of Frank shows, Eddie shows, Ben shows. It's going to be brilliant in the UK. We've obviously got Canelo in Saudi, and we've got that incredible show at Times Square that's just been announced. So there's so much going on. March, April, May. We're very, very lucky, and I think Eubank and Ben is a fantastic fight, which is a great story. It's a terrific tale, and we're all going to be glued to it.
As you say there, this fight does have its detractors. Now, perhaps the most prominent one of those is Simon Jordan. He's described it as a freak show. Obviously, Eddie's come back at him, as you can imagine, their usual back and forth. Do you understand why some people do have their sort of reservations about the fight? Your hardcore fight fans, you say it doesn't really have any ramifications for world titles and such.
Yeah, I've spoken to Frank as well, Frank Warren, and he doesn't like the fight. I think he thinks about the weights and he just doesn't like it at all. And Simon Jordan doesn't like the fight. I get that. I understand it. I didn't particularly like it a couple of years ago with the weight, but I think that Conor probably is more naturally maybe walking where he walks around a middleweight or light middle. But I don't think that's as pertinent to me an issue as it was a couple of years ago. But look, it's not everyone's cup of tea, but then Misfits isn't either. Some people will say, why do you watch KSI and Tommy Fury? I took my daughter there. She absolutely loved it in Manchester, 20,000 people in the Manchester Arena. So I sort of woke up, I think, to this. I'm a hardcore boxing fan, as you know, but I woke up to entertainment and changing times when KSI and Logan Paul fought and Sky covered it. And we had a great week, and it wasn't to everyone's liking. But yeah, if you've got Misfits, you've got boxing at trade level, at elite level, all sorts, America, Saudi, Britain. I think so long as our sport is being represented and it's being talked about, it's great. And I think Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. are very good fighters. As I said, I don't think they're as good as their dads were, but they're at a level, and I'm sure one of them will want to become a world champion at some point. A lot of pride on the line, a lot of needle, a lot of fire. And when you've got spice and you've got a story, my mates who are not really boxing fans are talking about it. That's got to be good.
Absolutely, like it or love it. It's going to be a crazy week and a crazy fight. Adam Smith, always very grateful for that.
Like it or love it, you're going to watch it.
Without a doubt. Cheers, Adam. Thanks.